Hey, I'm Shay and welcome back to my channel, Books with Shay. So for today's video, I want to share with you guys my OWLs, OMR/TBR, and there are a lot of acronyms there, so let me stop and slow down and explain what exactly is going on. So most of you know what a TBR is, my to be read list or pile or whatever. And OMR is a term that I came up with towards the beginning of the year because I don't normally make TBRs where I have a specific list of everything I'm going to read in the month. I make OMRs, which is a general list of everything that's currently on my radar that I want to read, and then I pick up what I feel like within that month. The OWLs are a Harry Potter themed readathon hosted by G over at Book Roast, and I will link all the information for that down below. If you don't know what they are, please go watch her intro video because it is a very intricate readathon, and so there are a lot of details that she'll give you there that I just can't give you here. However, I will say that it is my favorite readathon of all time. I really love participating in the OWLs every year. The reason why is because it incorporates one of my favorite book series of all time in Harry Potter, but also the community. I love everything around everyone making bullet journal spreads and coming up with their TBR lists and talking to each other about how they're gonna pass their OWLs, and I just love this community spirit. And then in addition to that, I like the structure of this so much. Like, I like the idea that I am a Hogwarts student, I am preparing for my exams. It gives me a sense of accomplishment and control in a time that feels kind of crazy. So if you aren't already participating in the OWLs, please consider joining and participating because it's such a fun time, especially like in this tough time, to kind of bring some light to the situation. So I have chosen my career. I know what prompts I need to fulfill, but I have not chosen a book for every single prompt yet because some of them I just can't find. Some of them I will put a prompt in that section and then be like, I don't really feel like I'm in the mood for that. So if you guys have suggestions for my open prompts or even prompts that I've filled, you can leave them down below and I would really, really appreciate it because I'm trying to have a really successful, stellar reading month in April because I know for the majority of it right now, it's looking like we're still gonna be social distancing. So I wanna read some really good books. So let me know what some of your favorites are down below. And without further ado, let's jump into my career and the prompts that I'm trying to fill for the OWL's readathon. So I chose the career of spellmaker, which is a brand new career this year, and it sounded so interesting to me. I just really love the idea of the research aspect of figuring out what works, and then the kind of testing phase aspect of it, of practicing all of these magical spells and seeing what makes what happen, and then making it into an actual concise spell to pass on to other people to use. And in my career in real life, that is kind of what I do without that kind of magical aspect. So I do research on what works, specifically related to how kids learn, and then I put it into curriculum that I craft myself and then pass it on to teachers for them to teach that curriculum to their students and show them how to make things in their life, in their real world, work for them. So I really like this, and it is so close to what I'm passionate about that I thought it would be a fun career to pursue for this round of OWLs. And so for that, I need 7 owls, and then I decided that I wanted to do an add-on, but I'm not sure exactly which one I want to do. So for the first subject that I need to complete is Ancient Runes, and the prompt for Ancient Runes is Heart Rune, a book with a heart on the cover or in the title. And for this, the 2 books that I had that were on my radar are How to Love by Katie Catugno and The Honey Don't List by Christina Lauren. I will insert pictures of them right here. And so the reason why I chose to for this, number one, it's an OMR, so anything that's on my radar I added to this list. But the other reason why I chose to was because when the Honey Don't List came out, I was like, are you gonna be able to wait until April to read this? And it turns out I wasn't. I've already read the Honey Don't List, so I can't read that for this now. So I think I'm going to do How to Love unless I find another one that has a heart on the cover. I also think I'm gonna be reading Laura Dean, I want to say Laura Dern like the actress. Laura Dean Keeps Breaking Breaking Up With Me, which I'll insert a picture of here, which is a graphic novel. And I would think that that would have a heart somewhere on the cover, but I don't think there is one. But that is the group read for Books with Chloe's Patreon. And so I'm reading that and I'm going to try to work it into a challenge here, but I don't know where that's going to fit. So for the next prompt, it's for arithmancy, and it's magical qualities of number 2, balance / opposites, read something outside of your normal genre. So I actually might use Laura Dean Keeps Breaking Up With Me for this one because it is a graphic novel. And try though I might, I have not been able to actually integrate graphic novels or manga into my routine where I'm reading them consistently. Every now and then I will try one and go outside of my comfort zone, but 99.9% of the time I am not reading a graphic novel or a manga, and so this is a good place to fit that one in. So I just said I was trying to fit it in, and then perfect, I had the next prompt and it seems like it fits there. So let's keep going. For the next one, it's astronomy, and the prompt is night classes. Read the majority of a book when it's dark outside. And for this one, I'm thinking I'm going to read the Happily Ever After playlist by Abby Jimenez. I am really looking forward to this. This was one of my most anticipated romance releases of this year because I really liked the first book in the companion novel in the series, which I cannot think of the name of, but I will insert a picture of it right here. I really, really liked that one, and so I'm excited to read this one. And because it's a contemporary, and contemporary romance reads are my fastest reads, I get through them really, really quickly. I don't think I'll have any problems finishing this probably in one night, but definitely over the course of a couple nights in a week. So that's why I chose that for this. Next, I need an OWL for charms, and that is Lumos Maxima, read a book with a white cover. And so I have chosen 2 that I want to pick between for this, and they're both some of my most anticipated reads on my TBR. So they're not new releases, but they're ones that I'm always like, I should read that, and then something else gets in the way, but I want to prioritize them. So I'm either going to be reading God's Grave by Jay Kristoff. You guys know I absolutely loved Nevernight. It was a 5-star read for me. And then I saw everybody like crying and freaking out when Dark Dawn came out, which is the 3rd book, and it kind of stalled me on the series because I was like, I'm not prepared for the pain and suffering, so I kind of stopped reading. But I want to get to God's Grave by Jay Kristoff. And the other book that I've really been looking forward to that I hope that I can read is The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang, and I'll again insert a picture here. And I have heard so many people rave about this, but I have again kind of backed off of it some because I heard it's very graphic and violent and there's a lot of trigger warnings, and I have not been in a space to read that. But if I feel like I am in a space that I can read it, then I think I will go ahead and jump in and try it because I'm just really interested to know what it's about and why so many people love it so much. And so those are my 2 kind of that I'm choosing between for books with a white cover. Next is Divination, and that is Third Eye. Assign numbers to your TBR and use a random number generator to pick your read. So I did not do this already, and the reason why I didn't is because I figured that if here, while we're still in March, I did that, assigned a random number, had it pick a book off my TBR, I would be like, I'm not in the mood to read that. I don't feel like reading it. So I want to wait until I'm in the midst of reading and I've read through a book and I'm kind of in a stall and I don't know what to read next. Then I'll go in and do the random generator so that I don't have a chance to decide I don't want to read it, if that makes sense, by planning it too far in advance. So I will let you guys know I'm definitely vlogging for the OWLs. So when I do that, when I have the number generator thing pick what book I'm reading, I will film that and insert that in that vlog for you guys. The next one is History of Magic, Witch Hunts, a book featuring witches or wizards. And I feel like the OWLs are not complete for me if I don't read a Harry Potter book. So for this one, LT and I are working through reading the illustrated editions together, and so I want to read those with him. And so I think for this one, we're still working on Sorcerer's Stone. Every night we're like, we're gonna pick it up, and then we don't. So for this one, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be reading the illustrated edition of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, of course by J.K. Rowling. You guys all know this whole readathon is based on that. So if you're here watching, you've probably read Harry Potter or you're a my mom and you're watching because you love me. So hi mom. The last prompt that I need for this career is Transfiguration, Animagus lecture, a book or series that includes shape-shifting. And I don't know what to read for this, but they're actually, let me see if I can pull this up on Goodreads. There was a book that someone, I think Abigail from Abigail's Cup of Tea, which I'll link her down below, was talking about a book that her subscribers recommended to her to read for this, and I put it on my TBR just because it sounded really interesting. Not necessarily thinking I was going to read it for this specifically, but thinking I wanted to get to it at some point. It's called My Lady Jane. It's by Cynthia Hand, and now I remember. So I've heard that it has shape-shifting, but I have no idea where it is. I do know, however, the Tower Garden just turned on. I do know, however, that I really liked Cynthia Hand's writing in, what did she write? The Afterlife of Holly Chase, I think. Is that what it is? You guys, I'll insert a picture here. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. I just read it over Christmas break. I think I gave it 5 stars when I read it then. Now that I've thought about it a little more, it's more like a 4-star read for me, but I really did enjoy it. And so I would love to read something else by her. And then I think this one just has an interesting premise. I know it's historical fiction, I believe. And I also think it's kind of satire. I don't know a lot of details, obviously, but that's what is kind of on my radar for this challenge, even though I'm not sure exactly what I'm gonna read. And then I keep hearing people pronounce it. Oh no, the Tower Garden. I am going to pause recording while the Tower Garden goes. I'll be right back. Okay, so I think we had just made it to the point where we were talking about what I wanted to do for my add-on. And I hate saying this word because I pronounced it one way the entire time I was reading the book, and then now I hear people pronouncing it differently, and so I don't know if I'm mispronouncing it. But I think the correct pronunciation is Animagus. And so I want to be able to do the add-on where I can also turn into an animal. And so for that, the subject is potions and the prompt is shrinking solution, a book under 150 pages. And I have no idea. I'm thinking maybe a book of poetry for this, or possibly doing, I don't know if any of the Shannon McGuire Wayward Children series, I don't know if any of those are under 150 pages, because I could do that, but I do not know what I'm going to do for this prompt. So if you know what you're doing for this prompt, or you're doing the same prompt, I can't talk. If you know what you're doing for this prompt because you're doing the same class, leave your suggestions down below. So that is my TBR/OMR for the OWLs. I also think I'm going to do a bullet journal spread for this, which I don't think I'm going to do on camera because I can't figure out the camera setup. I can't figure out the camera setup to show you guys me working on my bullet journal well. And so I think when I finish it, maybe I'll just show you guys what my spread turned out like, but that's something else I'm about to go work on when I get done filming this. And so I'll share that with you guys. I'm planning on vlogging throughout the month to show you what I'm reading. And I'm really excited for this community experience. It's just one of my favorite times of year on BookTube. So I hope you guys are participating, and comment down below. Let's talk about it. I would love to know what you guys are reading and to have some interaction with you. So yeah, I will talk to you guys soon. I'm going to try to film another video right quick so you guys have other things to watch during the week. And because I'm losing light so quickly, I think I'm going to stay dressed just like this. So I will see you just like this later on this week. Talk to you later. Bye.